next topic, more music, because all we talk about is music here because I love music, and I know you do too. You shared an album with us, and I'm about to butcher the names, but Robson Jorge.
I believe it's Robson Jorge.
Yeah. Okay. And Lincoln Olivetti.
Yeah, that's good.
Lincoln Olivetti. I searched up their names and tried to find information, but they're so low key.
I picked this one, yeah.
They're so low key, and I think that made it so much more charming.
Yeah.
Because the music is incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
They just released an EP called Deja, and God, it's actually so incredible. And thank you for sharing. I was walking to run some errands today, and I felt like Superman character vibes. Like it was like the disco kind of like dance tracks, and track 1 had a crazy solo with like the sound was like it was like 3 instruments, but it's oh God, it was so the horns in there, and then like the rebuilding of the track towards the end of it. It's such a good EP. It's so cool.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your why did you share it with us? What do you feel about that?
So
Deja Vu.
That's like a lost album basically. It was a bunch of takes from the 80s. So now that those men are alive anymore.
No way. I had no idea.
Yeah. So I guess to put a brief intro on this story is like when it was 2018 or so when I was teaching lessons all over Westchester and Long Island and stuff like that, and I was driving everywhere. So I just like had a lot of time to listen to music in the car. And on my Discover Weekly was this song called Squash. It's from there.
Yes.
They had one album called self-titled. It was like Lincoln Olivetti.
Yeah.
Robson Jorge, Lincoln Olivetti. And I swear to God, I listened to that song 30 times in a row, like while I was driving home. It was just like everything that I liked about music. Like, yeah. And it led me just kind of in this like love affair with the album where I listened to it probably every day for 5 or 6 months. My like ex-partner still like say whenever I put it on, like immediately is like, nope, can't do it still. But yeah, it's and I got really fascinated. So it's 2 producers. They're like Lincoln Olivetti is one producer and Robson Jorge is the other producer. Yeah. And they were both behind like basically every Brazilian disco record.
Oh, that's crazy.
So like it's funny because like there's a couple people that are like cited as being like famously sampled Brazilian figures from that era. And I feel like no one has zoomed out enough to see like, oh, this was like 2 guys were behind like all of that music.
Jeez.
And their first record, the self-titled one, is kind of a masterclass in their production style, where like the thing you're talking about with the layering. One thing they would do that I haven't found other people that really do that is they would layer fake horns on keyboards with real horns. And it has this like really kind of sci-fi sound to it that I really dig.
Yeah.
And they kind of write for like the disco medium in the same way that you would write for like a big band jazz ensemble. Gotcha. Like there's instrumental sections and interludes and things like that, but it's all kind of put through that like funky disco beat. It's just really like perfect music in my opinion. Yeah. And it was a kind of unexpected treat that this year they were going to release a bunch of
So they're just like
stuff.
It's just tracks that they just never got.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow.
So apparently, Lincoln Olivetti had the studio. Yeah. And apparently it was the largest studio, or it was worth the most amount of money with all the gear that it had in South America.
So
it was his private studio. So more than like, think about like a country having like a public media or things like that. Like his personal studio was more
like the biggest
balling than theirs were, which is sick. Like that's like my goal.
That's really sick. Yeah, that's really cool. Wow.
So they're just like, I'm sure he just had like closets full of tapes basically and things that like never came out and that there's going to be like some archival work done over the years. And I think that streaming did help proliferate his first record though.
Yeah, really?
That's how I found it.
Yeah,
so like,
true. That makes
and a lot of that stuff was just lost for a long time. So there is the good side of streaming, which is that things can have a extended life, you know?
I mean, with the massive catalog that you have, you can just have pretty much anything that exists on the platforms. Yeah. Wow, that is a really cool story. I love. I didn't expect I swear to God, when you look up their names, just almost nothing pops up.
I think like a Wikipedia page, but from Brazil pops up. So you have to like translate it.
Okay. Because I went on Wikipedia and neither of their names had any information on them. So
on
I guess
the American
you have to
one probably.
On the American one.
You can go to different countries' Wikipedias to access different articles. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. Well, I love the EP, and that's really cool to know that I didn't even know that they were rest in peace, because it's so good. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
For anybody that's watching, all the links of the things that we're talking about, especially when it comes to the music, is going to be in the description. So if you find yourself curious about what we're talking about, which you should be, it's incredible music. It's Jerick's perfect music. Please take a look at those links.